All right, today in America, there's an estimated over 80% of people that are in debt, whether it's from having too much of a mortgage, not making their payments on time, or from just spending way too much money that they don't have. The average debt for those 80% of people is around 68 grand. That's a median salary for some. This all started back in the 1920s when the installment plans were introduced. These installment plans allow people to pay as they go and still have the item. This would have worked except for the fact that 10 years later, we went through a Great Depression and people could no longer afford those installment plans. The items were taken away from them and all that money that they paid was wasted. In my line of work, I work in retail. I see this happen every day. A customer will come in, spend $2,000 on something that they don't need, and they will even admit that they don't have the money to pay for it, but they still get it. Today we're going to talk about the things that I see personally from my personal experiences, examples, and tips on how to either stay out of debt or get out of debt. As I said, I work in retail. I see people splurge. Now, the line of retail that I work in, I work at a gun store. I've had customers come in personally asking, what gun can I buy for the cheapest? They'll come in, look around, and then decide that they want the $2,000 one. They admit that they don't have the money, but they get it. Why? Because we also offer credit cards. Credit cards are the thing that we can get it, pay it off separately, month by month, however much we want, how much we can afford as we go. We offer these credit cards because we know it's going to allow that customer to buy that purchase. And of course, most of these credit cards that stores offer run around 28 to 30% interest a month. That means if you buy a $2,000 gun, that can be another $30, $40 each month tacked on if you don't pay. And credit cards are available at almost every store you go into. Kohl's, Walmart has credit cards, Target has credit cards. Everyone, you get them in the mail for notifications. Why do we splurge? I just have a personal habit of it. We want to splurge because we think we're going to see something that's going to make us happy. We think that if I buy this and bring it home, I'm going to get to look at it and it's going to make me happy. Not really the case, but we still do it. We also buy things to impress other people. Say your neighbor Jim just got a Chevy Corvette. You want to compare. You want something better. So you go out and you get a Stingray Corvette that's even more expensive. Did you need that Corvette? No. But Jim had one, so you had to get a better one. That also ties in with jealousy. You want something? You have to buy it. And we also have the habit of falling for ads. Ads are everywhere. Ads are in commercials, TV shows. These companies pay to put ads in TV shows. That box of cereal sitting on the counter in Days of Our Lives, that's paid to be there. We sell sale signs. You can save 30% off an item that's already marked up 60% over what it's actually worth. So in reality, you're probably paying more for something that isn't worth that money that you're technically saving. Now I'm going to give you some real life examples. I have a bad habit of walking into a store and buying something that I have no need for. Take, for example, this. Disney store. Big stuffed animal, 19 years old. I don't need it, but I bought it because I thought it would make me happy and because it's cute, but I don't need it. I do this every day. I walk into stores like Walmart and I see something cute. I see makeup that I buy, but I never use it. We buy things because it's going to make us happy to have those things. Another personal example is my sister. My sister is in debt and had to actually declare bankruptcy from her credit card debt. She would buy things that she didn't need. Jewelry, she bought cars, boats, go-karts for her son. And now she has nothing to show for it because she had to sell off everything she bought to try to make up that money. Now we're going to talk about some tips. Some tips to not even touch debt so you don't have to ever worry about it. Don't get credit cards. It's good to have one in case of emergency. Say your car breaks down, but you don't have $2,000 to pay for it. Put it on a credit card. That way you can pay it off and you don't have to be in a hole, but you still have your car. Pay on time. If you have a credit card, make sure you pay it. That way you only pay what you actually need to. You don't have to pay interest on something. if you let a payment sit there for 6 months, that's possibly hundreds of dollars you're paying for no reason. You have nothing to show for it. Another, limit shopping. Don't go to the mall with your friends. Just say, hey, let's go get ice cream. Let's spend an hour at the coffee shop. Don't walk around malls. Don't walk around stores where you can see something and say, oh, I want that, but you don't need it. Limit the time that you're walking around these stores. Next, savings. If something ever happens to you and you don't have a credit card, make sure you have a savings account. This way you don't have to get a credit card to get out of a hole that you're in. If you have savings, then you can easily pull that money and use it when you need it. And what to do if you're already in debt but you desperately need to get out of debt. Make a list of what you owe and who you owe it to. That way you're organized. You know what you owe, what the interest rates are, and how much you need to save and pay what month. And then if it's credit card debt, you can also call the credit card company and ask for lowest interest rates. That might help you a little bit, but not a whole lot. And then don't splurge on stuff that you don't need. Every penny should go towards the debt that you need to pay off. Don't go out and spend $100 on a piece of jewelry that you don't need. Put that money towards the debt. Then that's $100 that you paid off, and that's also money that you don't have to pay interest on. All right. In conclusion, we talked about real life examples, why we spend this money, and tips on how to get out of debt and stay out of debt. By using this information, you can easily not be in debt.